Hi guys, how are ya? Welcome back to the Kenyan Meet Australian page, which is being run by me. Good to see you all, even though I cannot see you, but good to be seen by you all. Thanks for the follows that I have received. I feel very encouraged and motivated to keep doing what I'm doing. This is not for my benefit, but for your benefit, because my desire is to help as much as I can. So this video, I am actually recording it while I'm at work. It's a bit quiet, so I thought let me do the video because I haven't had a chance to do it over the past couple of days because it was pretty full on with many other activities that I had to do. So the video is for my experience with the driving, getting a driving license here in Australia. And the reason I thought to do this video is because the process of getting a driving license here is quite different from how it was in Africa. I'll start by explaining a few things. Somebody asked me if it is important to get a driving license. My thinking is yes, it is important to get one, especially if you intend to do some of the jobs that would earn you a bit more money, like the disability jobs and stuff, where when you're being employed, they expect that you get an Australian license so that you could be driving their clients and they know that you have gone through the process of getting a proper license. But also, if you intend on staying in Australia for good, then eventually you will have to get a driving license. But if you're on a temporary visa, aka a student visa or any other visa that doesn't require you to stay here for very long, you don't need to get the driving license. The license is only applicable for people who are intending to stay for a longer period, or if you want to get one which makes it easier for you to go into places where you don't have to show your passport all the time. If you have your driver's license, it just makes things easier for you. You show that, and yeah, you can move around without having to carry your passport to these places where they need you to check they need to check your details. So my process was quite interesting. I did my test twice. I did a theory test and I did 2 practice tests. So for the theory test, it was quite easy. You just practice online, and then you go in. I'll put a link on where I went to practice my test, the practice site. So I did that practice test online for a couple of days, and then I went into a center. We have a few driving license centers where you can go and take the theory test and do your whole process application for your license and book a practice test after that process. So I did my test, my theory test, and then I used my license to help me get some exemptions. And the exemptions that I got is that I didn't have to go on a learner's permit, neither did I have to go on the P-plate permit or P-plate option, because I have been driving for quite a while. But if you do not have a Kenyan, or not a Kenyan license, but your license from back where you're coming from, they'll want you to go get an L plate to show that, because they don't have a way of confirming that you have been driving for a while, so they will assume that this is your first time to drive, so you automatically have to go on an L plate and then go on a P plate, which means you have to drive with someone in the car until those plates are lifted or until you become a professional. So to help with avoiding that drama, if you can come with your license to Australia, please do, so that when you're applying for your Australian license, you get those exemptions. But otherwise, you still have to do a theory test and you still have to do a practice test. Those 2 things don't change. So I did my theory test, and then I did my application for practice test after I proved that I was driving in Kenya. There's a bit of a code. There's a code where KRA, it's not KRA, but the licensing center in Kenya, they give us a code where it shows that you have been paying for your license. So luckily for me, I had been paying for my license even while I was here. So I had to show that code. I had to print out that code, barcode, which was attached to my application to confirm that I'm actually a Kenyan driver and I have a valid license in Kenya. So other countries have their codes on their licenses. For us in Kenya, with the old driving license, we have to do it via the website. I think the new license has the code. I'm not quite sure, but I think it does. Yeah, so that's what I did. And then after I did my theory test, I went on Gumtree. I'll put a link on Gumtree. Gumtree is another site where we go and get options of services at a discounted price. So on Gumtree, I went there and I checked for driving instructors. I did my practice test in a place called Rockingham because I was hoping that I will not fail because it's quite far from the city, but I still failed, so it did not matter. So I went to Gumtree. I got a driving instructor from there. He gave me one lesson, and then I did my first practice test. I used his car. I failed because I wasn't very comfortable with it, and these guys want to see that your process is the process here is not that you can drive, but that you know the rules. So there are many rules that you need to learn, and unfortunately for me, I hadn't mastered all of them in my head. So the first round I failed, and then I had to book in for another test after 10 working days, which meant staying for 2 weeks before I could take the test again. So in the process of the 2 weeks, the guy was very helpful. He gave me a book. I used that book to familiarize myself with the laws and the rules, because it's not about how good you can drive. In fact, that instructor, he's white, but he lived in Kenya for quite a bit. So he said he knew if I had been driving in Kenya for a while, he knew that then I'm a good driver because Kenyan roads are rough. But here in Australia, it's not about the Kenyan roads. It is about the knowing your laws and knowing the rules that apply on the road, which I feel like in Kenya, and I'm suspecting in Africa, because I've had other people from other countries, South Africa, Zimbabwe, talk about how the driving experience the driving process, getting your license process in Africa is quite different. So anyway, so the second time, so he gave me the practice book. I went, I read it, I practiced alone. Small things that I needed to remember is when I'm indicating, I need to look back, then look forward, then look at the side, then indicate. What was it called? He called it can't remember the name. If I do, I'll put it on up here. But he taught me about that, which was so shocking, because every time before I could indicate, I had to make sure I look left, and then it was so annoying because you want to use your side mirror, but with the instructors, they don't want you to use the side mirror. They want you to use your own, like physically look back and look forward and do all those things. So it's those small things that they're looking at. If I'm approaching the traffic lights and it's amber, if I'm on the speed limit, the actual speed limit, say it's a 60 kph zone and I'm on 60, I could cross over without having to stop, not to brake so suddenly lest I cause an accident behind. It's the things that in Africa we do it differently, like you pause quickly, you indicate quickly, you go quickly. I had to unlearn those things and relearn how to do it here in Australia. So it was quite the process, but eventually after the 2 weeks I took another test and then I passed. I'll attach my videos for that experience. The second time round I used my own car. I didn't go with the instructor's car because the first time with the instructor's car I was struggling with putting the brakes, and that's what caused me to fail, because the pedal was a bit tough. So when I was pressing it, it felt like I'm doing an emergency brake when it wasn't my intention. And the guy was like, you have failed. And it really broke my heart. I cried for a bit and then I laughed and I was like, it's okay. Hi guys. I'm just trying to do a car wash in preparation for my driving test tomorrow. I'm really crossing my fingers that I'm gonna do well. I want to use my car. There's the option of using an instructor's car or using your own car. The first time I used the instructor's car, but I really struggled, so I failed. I'm going in for the second test tomorrow, so I decided to use my own car instead of the instructor's car because I'm more comfortable with it, so I'm hoping that I'll pass. Yeah, now I have to get the car clean because apparently if it looks dirty they might not allow me to take the test. What's the rules? So let's see how it goes. Hi guys, I'm off to do my driving test. Pray for me. Okay, by the time you see this I would have either passed or failed, but whew, I'm off to Rockingham. What do they say? Rules versus knowing how to drive. Let's see how it goes. The sun. Hey guys, guess who has passed? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I feel like screaming. I'm alone, so I can't scream. I'll look crazy, but I passed. Second attempt, and I did it. Praise Jesus. That's the center. And if you can see it, yeah, that's where I came from. I'm going home. Grateful to God. In Jesus' name. A few more things to note is that I had to pay for all these processes. I had to pay to get an instructor. I had to pay to do the theory test. I had to pay to do the practice tests both times. And I had to pay to get a license. So it's not just I'm doing these things for free. I had to pay for them, which meant that I had to really save up just in preparation. It wasn't so expensive for the theory test. If I am not wrong, I think I paid $50. For the theory test, if I'm not wrong, I think I paid $50. I could be wrong, but I think I paid $50. For the practice test, I had to pay $80 the first time, and then the second time I think I paid 90 something because it was my second attempt, and then second attempt. And then for the instructor I paid $50 per every lesson, and he took me through, the first time he took me through one lesson, and then I did my practice test, which I failed, and then the second time he took me through 3 lessons, which was it 3 or 2? It was 2 extra lessons, so I paid 3 in total. So all 3 times he charged me $50. What else did I have to pay for? And then the driving license costed me $180 if I'm not wrong, and I was getting, was it 180 or 210? I can't remember, but I was getting a license for 5 years so that I don't have to keep renewing every year. So I paid a bit more just to get for 5 years in the end. But yeah, this is quite the process, but everybody can do it. If I could do it, you can do it. Hey guys, so as you have seen, I passed my second practice test. That was an amazing experience compared to the first one. The instructor was good, very friendly and very chatty, an old guy. He made me feel a bit more comfortable before I took the test, so that really encouraged me. So yeah, pretty much my advice would be carry your driver's license with you when you're coming to Australia, and just take the test. You can get a driving license test even if you're on a temp visa, so you don't need to be like a permanent resident or a citizen to get the driving license test. And like I said earlier in the video, it's such an addition to making life a bit easier for you when you're making your way around Australia, when you have your own license, as opposed to carrying your passport everywhere you go, or applying for I've forgotten the name of that thing, this card, proof of age card. So if you could get a driving license, it saves you from a lot. And I find that organizations, these odd job organizations, feel more confident when they know that you have a driver's license test when they're giving you jobs, especially if it involves you carrying around clients with you, or if you need to do a lot of work while you're driving. Yeah, so I hope you liked the video. Please share this page with as many people as you know who want to come to Australia, so that they can be as informed as you are. See you on the next video. Bye.